All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining in on Sunday morning IST time. This is welcome to Now Gurukul Meetup number 7, and we have keynote speaker with us today, Ashutosh Munot, and we're going to talk about him more and more as we proceed. We are 30 plus people Sunday morning. I can feel it is bit lazy to be in India and be there, but I am sure that the next 30-45 minutes will add more value in your career and in your learning. Feel free to share this meeting link with your friends, colleagues who wish to join us. So before starting the meeting, we have some ground rules. I wish everybody to please stay on muted until and unless you have any specific point or question to ask. You can raise your hand using the Zoom reactions. Use the chat actively to interact with your friends or put your questions during this session. At the end, we will be asking the relevant questions with our keynote speaker and be respectful to each other. I expect there should be no spamming, cross-talk, and off-topic conversations because being respectful is the base of our ServiceNow community, I would say. We will have a session where we can engage and network at the end of the session because we get to know more and more folks who have joined here. Then, last but not the least, it's an online meeting, it's an online meetup, but let's make the most out of it. Let's try to come over video. You can take 4 or 5 minutes to dress up if you're not ready, because the more we interact, the more we know each other, the more it will add value to all of us. Thank you so much. With that, so if I talk about agenda of this meeting in a quick nutshell, we will have our quick Now Gurukul Club introduction. What is it and what benefits you get out of it? We have our keynote speaker Ashutosh Munot here with us. Then we will have a Q&A session with him as an open house where you can come up with your questions, be related to your career, technical skills, or anything where you see Ashutosh can help or add value in your life. Then we will have a quick networking session if time allows. Then, of course, the closing remarks and what's the next way ahead in front of all of us. So quickly talking about Now Gurukul Learners Club, it's an initiative run by some members and the leaders of the community. I founded this community and the group to help each and other. And under this umbrella, we run many initiatives that if you're following us on WhatsApp, LinkedIn, or different channels, Sport the Buck Challenge to enhance your coding skills, daily learning challenge, and we will have meetups like this going forward, maybe every bi-weekly or weekly, where we will bring the right exposure to you where you can improve and excel with the industry best experienced leaders. It's a learning club framework. That's what we were speaking about. There is no teacher here. There is no paid trainings here. There is no certifications here. It's a peer learning group. I wanted to learn service now, so that I thought let's bring a small community together and do in a more disciplined way. I will quickly roll out a video also on YouTube in order to explain entire about my club. You can watch that on our channel. Today's meetup we will keep focused on our agenda of having more and more value from our keynote speaker, and you can ask your queries and questions to him going forward. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time where we introduce our keynote speaker. So he is an active and influential member of the ServiceNow community. He has earned the distinguished title of 10x ServiceNow MVP. If you don't know what is MVP or Rising Star, maybe we will ask our keynote speaker to explain, but he has earned that title 10 times in ServiceNow community, a recognition of his outstanding contribution and thought leadership. Beyond his technical role, Ashutosh is passionate about sharing knowledge. He hosts the podcast Laten We Praten, regularly authors blog and leads live streams focused on ServiceNow insights and best practices. Ashutosh's story reflects how community engagement and resilience can shape a career. He shared how earlier rejections motivated him to contribute and grow within the ServiceNow platform. With that note, I'm amazed to call on Ashutosh Munot on the stage, please. Ladies and gentlemen, let's clap for him.
Thank you, Gagan, first of all, for having me. Um,
I'm just stopping my screen share. Give me a moment.
yeah,
All
hi
right.
everyone. I think everyone is joining from here and there. For me, it's early morning. So good
So what
morning.
time is out there,
Again,
Ashutosh?
it's 7:30 now.
All right. So
Uh,
I hope you had your coffee.
yeah, I'm just having it.
All
That's
right.
not a problem.
All right. First of all, Ashutosh,
Um,
thanks a lot for being so kind to accept my invitation for this meetup. The only agenda here is that we don't seek for any monetary benefits. We just want to bring the audience close to the right folks so that they can get the right mentoring and right mindset to grow in their service now. And I would say in overall professional journey is the agenda, right? And
yeah,
we are resuming this meetups after a long time due to some personal issues, and I didn't find any better person than you to come over and share the knowledge, right? So we'll do in a session where I will maybe ask few questions to you so that people get insights, and then we can have some open Q&A session where people can ask you some questions. Folks who are there in the call, please feel free to come over video. You can put your questions in the chat window, and we can take it accordingly. So Ashutosh, let's start. Okay, can you tell us how your ServiceNow journey began and what kept you motivated to achieve the milestone of 10x MVP, and what does it mean for you? From where did you start? Like, if you can just give your introduction kind of thing.
yeah. So um, again, first of all, thanks for having me. It's my pleasure to be here, and to the whole community which you are running. It's always very important for someone to host this, right? We can share the knowledge, but there should be someone who should do it. So thanks for that. Um, so let's go back. I was doing my master's in Pune in I think 2012. So during my master's, I had to go through my um, internship. I was doing it with one of the organizations in Pune. So there, actually, I got introduced with ServiceNow because they were migrating from everyone knows BMC. Then everyone was doing the journey of going from BMC to ServiceNow. I will not go into that world now, but that time I did my internship for around 5 months, 4 to 5 months, and then I saw, okay, this is the new technology which is coming into the market. Many big organizations are moving into it. And then luckily, I also got an offer after my master's to work with KPIT, which is kind of now Birla Soft, right? Um, so I started basically as business analyst with ServiceNow within KPIT because of my master's. But quickly, I realized that this is if I want to be sustainable in the market, I need to learn more and more about the technology, go in detail. And my background is I'm a electronics and telecommunication engineer. So I had some technical knowledge with me, and then I started debugging or learning on my own using community. And people who know back then the community was still growing. There were few people who were really active on the community. So I started learning from there. I saw people putting questions. I saw people asking uh, nice use cases, which were motivating me also to just take those use cases and implement because in the early stages, there were not that many projects. So that was my introduction with ServiceNow and then with the ServiceNow community as well. And coming back to your next question, like how it kept me motivated to just stay in touch with the community is again the same thing. I saw people were contributing and helping others. Like I was also on the receiving side first, and then I thought, okay, let's give back to community. And then I also started answering people on community. And then I moved the organization. I went to Capgemini and then Cognizant, and then I came to Netherlands. Um, but during that period, I never left contributing towards the community. The reason being is if you see, even if you work with an organization, you don't get that many use cases to work on. But if you look at, if I speak also with you or others here, uh, I will see so many different use cases. And for me, the good part is the main thing is you can learn from your peers. So when I was growing in my career, I saw my juniors were also doing it in more efficient way. So I don't have a shame on learning from the juniors as well. And that keeps us motivated and that keeps us um, very close to the people, and we can learn more and more. So that influenced me more to create the content. And I think I always say this: if you have a good network, if you are not afraid of contributing towards community. When I say afraid, it does not mean that you copy paste content from docs and put on your blogs, right? Don't do that. It's not good. Um, Try to bring your own flavor and put it on. Your own perspective should be in that particular video or blog or anything. And then I kept going, and then I became an MVP 10 years ago. And for last 10 years, I'm just doing many things like mentorship, podcasting, videos, blogs, and so on. And finally, this year in Vegas, I did create a keynote with uh, two other MVPs. It was Laszlo, and then it was Kelly, and everyone has their own story behind it. I can keep going on this topic, but let's take a pause. I see Gagan, you're still here?
Yeah, I hope I'm audible.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's a great and a humble introduction by you, Ashutosh. When you were starting your career, I was in class 12th, I would say, 13 years back, still getting ready to go to my college. Ashutosh, I think the biggest question I get from my freshers as of now is that they come from a different background, right? And at the earlier stage, if they're not getting any campus placement, it's very hard for them to get into ServiceNow industry. And I know that you mentioned many freshers help them get jobs as well. So what is your take on that? And how people should see when they're starting their journey in ServiceNow as a fresher? Because 15, 13 years back, the situation was different. Today it's more competitive, more people are active on the community and different technical areas. So what's your take on that, Ashutosh?
Yeah. So, see, I was fortunate to get a placement, right? So that's a different story. But without mentorship, you can't. I think you need a good person or a mentor who can help you in a good direction. I also had some great mentors in my career. When I was in Capgemini, I had some very good friend of mine who helped me. Uh, I think, I don't know if he's listening, but Rahul was my a good mentor. He taught me a lot. Um, but there, how should I say it? It's all about approaching people, learning the technology. The people who don't get placement, let's say, can reach out to people like you, Gagan, or your team, or some other. We had Mavericks group back then. We have so many MVPs or rising stars in India. So they can always reach out to those kind of people and see if they have an opportunity within their organization, or I mean, just don't spam them continuously. Just have a good connect with them and start learning from the community website or docs, because ServiceNow provides you with your own instance. I know you can't do everything with your own instance, but to get a platform is very important. Even though if you're trying something on your own, if you don't have a proper platform, it's going to be a challenge to learn more and more about ServiceNow. Because I think in my career of 14, 15 years with ServiceNow, I still think that I have missed on a lot of concepts. It's evolving so fast, so you can't keep up with the pace of ServiceNow. So don't focus on doing everything. Focus on specific modules. Be good at those modules, and then start reaching out, or start if you have good friends within ServiceNow ecosystem, start speak with them. They can guide you more and more. I think you know Carlo, right? Carlo Camacho. He is one of your.
Yeah,
So he was my mentee.
yeah,
We both are very close to each other. We started talking with each other, I think 2.5 years ago, and now see he's with me in the MVP group. So that's the power of mentorship. So if you can follow the mentorship program also from ServiceNow, it will help people to grow within the community. And Rise Up is a good initiative. Even if you are not part of, or let's say if you are doing some different technology, and if you want to get started with ServiceNow, I think that's the right program to start with.
Yeah, I think one important thing that you touched upon is that ServiceNow is like an ocean, right? Everybody knows that, and mentorship is something that we really don't give importance. I think that is also a mistake that I have done in the past, and I'm trying to correct it, because that is something can really push your career and your mindset towards the right thing. So thanks, Ashutosh, for touching on that. Before I get into some technical stuff, Ashutosh, maybe last question from my side, and this is something where I am also struggling or kind of trying to improve. So if I open a community today, right, there's a lot of stuff I can read and I can learn. Maybe I can ask the questions, because when it comes to contributing to the community in terms of blogging or in terms of answering the questions, so most of the place somebody feels that okay, I am not ready to answer it. It's more of a technical where I don't have the expertise. So any opinion from your side for the people who are just starting and thinking how we can contribute in the community, specifically when I say about the technical discussions there we have.
Uh, I will be very honest. If we don't know something, we should be very careful on giving our opinions on that topic, right? Because it might mislead others also in a wrong direction. So, and again, it's all about learning. So, making mistake, you should not be worried about it. If you make mistakes, there are other folks who are also contributing in the same channel, so they might correct you. So don't get offended with that as well, because I have seen it happening multiple times, and then the discussion goes in a different direction. So if you don't know a particular topic, I think it's a good, take it as a challenge, try it on your own. I don't know if you have resources within your own um, how you say it, within your own PDI or your customer instances. If you can try it, please give it a try, and then it's and then try to also see how what others are answering, um, because the trend is changing. Everyone wants to answer now on community to gain points, and when we were contributing, it was not about that. It was more about knowledge. Uh, so please don't do that. If take it as a challenge, learn it, and then answer it. You will succeed, not immediately, but it will take some time. And slowly you will start thinking also in your mind, hey, I had this question on community, and now I see the same situation in my project. So yeah, this is the opportunity. What people answered, let's go back, check what was happened there, and start to implement it. And you have people in your organization, right? So discuss with them, that hey, I want to contribute to community. These are the type of questions. Can I get some time within my week to learn more about this topic? I know it's very hard. I have stuck in projects where we need to work 60 hours, let's say, but uh, if you want to really grow on yourself, you need to have some extra efforts from your side as well.
Yeah, I think the major key learning I take from there is that it took around 13 years for Ashutosh to become a 10x MVP, but today's Gen Z generation want it very quick. As you said, rather than learning, we want it for points, helpful, just to get on the top of the leadership board. So patience is the keys, ladies and gentlemen, which we learn here, right? So before I get into the questions people are asking in the Q&A, I think very good questions, and we should give respect to them and value from your Ashutosh, your experience. The first and the most common question I see, Ashutosh, right? If I talk about Java, if I talk about Python, or let's say any other tech stack, right? So there, being a Java architect is a very huge, big thing, and it takes years for people to say that okay, I'm a Java architect, and they're afraid of that. In ServiceNow industry, we are seeing that okay, 5 years of experience, 6 years of experience, people call them as an architect, right? So how do you feel like what should be the pathway to become an architect? And if somebody is playing a role of an architect, what key things they should keep in mind and how to improve as an architect and grow is the question for you, Ashutosh.
See, like I said, if you're specialized in one of the areas, then you can have those layers of architecture in place, right? So if you say you're right, service management architect, yeah, it's a whole different story. Then you are not a SecOps architect, let's say. or you're not a platform architect. So how you look at this role is very different, because from customer perspective, because let's say, uh, I work at customer, and I work, sorry. So let's say, I'm working at customer, right? And I also did this architect role, and sometimes I need to still play it. But then we are platform architects, right? Because we need to take care of the whole platforms, have our consulting or center of excellence look into all the areas. But there are people, specifically, we hire architects only for IRM, only for ITSM, right? So I really don't look at number of years of experience. If you have knowledge and if you call yourself as an architect, fine. That should reflect in your work, let's say. That's completely their choice. But if you want to grow from a developer to an architect, I think it's not only about um, your coding skills, let's say, it's also about how you think, and how you approach the problem. So, what are the business challenges? How can we map the solutions? And I think we both did CTA, right? And we have learned that way of thinking, that way of analyzing the problem. And that makes, in my opinion, a good architect, because, and that does not mean you all should go and take CTA.
Yeah.
But I think the way you look at the problem, and you propose and you communicate it to your stakeholders is very important. But again, you can't be an architect like tomorrow.
Mm.
So give it time, learn more and more, um, slowly expand your wings. Start with one module, then second, then third, then fourth. Because still today, I have also not worked on some modules within ServiceNow. So that's not a problem for me. But if you know the core concepts of the platform, um, then I think you can flourish very quickly. So patience is the key. Uh, start start also contributing then on different topics, or start learning on yourself. There are many people. I have so many friends. I think they read more than me. They invest more time than me in the platform, but they do not contribute. So we don't see them. But there are people who are learning on their own, and then they are trying to implement the platform within their organization, and they are architects now. 10 years experience, 8 years experience. That's not an issue.
Yeah, I think that's a great perspective. So things will take time with the right perspective and mentoring, of course. There is a continuous debatable question in the market. It's asked by Somnath. I think he's the guy who transitioned from BMC to ServiceNow at the same time when you did, right? So he's asking, do you see any competitor to ServiceNow who can take market going forward, or how? Over to you. How you want to take this question? As
Um, so, like I said, ServiceNow is really, it has grown a lot. Specifically, from last 5 years, I have seen a tremendous shift in the market. And ServiceNow is always sold based upon better together story. And if I stick to that, I don't see any other platform at the moment competing. But if you look at some specific modules, there might be competitors in the market. But I don't see ServiceNow going away easily. And I don't want to comment anything bad, let's say. So I will stay very short on this answer.
agree.
It can be looked at more in a political way as well, but that's
Yes.
fine. The reason is, um, you never know what we have. AI, everything is evolving. Tomorrow there might be a different platform and we might shift. But sticking to ServiceNow at the moment, I don't think there is a big, because so many customers are using it, and again, the offerings from the platform is huge. So we are in safe hands.
I totally agree with you, Ashutosh. Every product has a scope of improvement, and that is what why the release comes every 6 months. And ServiceNow is something which is expanding into all horizons of market. So at least I am putting my career on stake at ServiceNow for next 5 10 years at least, and I am sure we'll get good rewards for that, right? So moving on,
Mhm.
Ashutosh, you said that you play a role of a platform architect, right? And I think in every organization, in every client where we work, there is a team of platform architect to which to whom you go with your update sets to get reviewed for all the architectural reviews, for all the decision making, right? So Ashutosh, from that mindset as a platform architect, right? Do you want to speak something around what key things that you and your team take cares and we should take care when it comes to platform architect responsibilities, and specifically focusing to the security aspect of it, because that is something every client is kind of a finger crossed when we talk globally, that okay, how do we keep our instance, our data secure, Ashutosh?
Um, yeah, so one step back, right? You said about reviews and everything. I think platform architect is not a right person to do the reviews of the code and everything. We have leads, and it's a cross-functional, or let's say it's a co-developing kind of thing. You do it with your friend or your colleague, and they review your work. Moreover, from architecture perspective, I think it's all about deciding uh, standards on many things, like update set naming convention. Very small topic, but it really needs an approval and buying from all the teams, all the developers, and then the architect is the one who decides or advice on it. And the decision always lies with platform owner, for example, right? Um, when it comes to security of the platform, um, it's a huge topic because there are different layers to security, right? You have data security, you have your access level controls, you have your encryptions, and so on. So if you ask me, now I'm shifting my hat. If I ask me as a platform owner, my D starts with security center. So I have pinned that my landing page is security center, because then I know how many impersonations are happening, who is trying to, if there is any hallucination, are there, is the security posture going down? Are we deviating from best practices? And we are not there yet. We are not 100% there yet. Our compliance score is somewhere around 80, maybe. Um, but if the architects, or let's say if the platform architect decides on some things, there are policies which you can define on the security center as well. Like, for example, let's say Gagan, you log in and you are trying to impersonate another admin. A notification should be sent to another, to a set of group of people who should know, hey, this event has happened. And that is now possible using security center. It's very powerful platform. It's very powerful feature, I would say. So everyone should use it. I highly recommend it. We are seeing some improvements happening on that, right? And you get real-time insights on it. But let's talk about that in a bit detail. Again, coming back to platform architect, um, I think it's more of an advisory role as well, right? You advise people. Until and unless you are not given an authority to make decisions, the architects are not allowed to take decisions. They are there to give advice. Um, and then everyone should respect that particular scenario. If an architect says that, hey, this is a good way to go, please evaluate it. Please give it a try. Uh, Mainly about security, I don't know. We have seen many companies have specific policies for privilege accounts, like admin accounts. Um, we in our organization or the previous organizations where I have worked on, I have seen we have multiple accounts. So if you have fulfiller, so I have, for example, two accounts, right? One is my normal account and one is my privilege account. And that privilege account is monitored not only within ServiceNow, but also from Active Directory perspective, that if we are trying to misuse it, because that gives you more control. That puts you in a good hand. Let's say you are monitoring MCR department, your SOC, they're looking after you if the account gets hacked. Um, Please have proper data segregation. So be very clear when it comes to security that, okay, this role can only do this XYZ activities. Privileged account also, not everyone should be given security admin role, in my opinion, because that's a huge risk. People might just go and change ACLs. People might just go and do whatever they want if the security admin role is compromised. So have control over it. And specifically with deployments, I don't know how others will take it, but we have very limited set of people in production who have admin access for security reasons, and they do deployments on their behalf because modules like HR, there is so much sensitive data there, like medical history, your salaries, and so on. And we don't want that to get compromised. And hence, you need to be very sharp on your hardening your security posture. And hence, I'm saying, please use Security Center for these kind of activities. If someone even hits, if any other privilege account other than HR role hits any HR table, you can have an event on your name to analyze that particular data. So one step ahead, before your security officers comes to you, you should already know what has happened. And I saw somewhere popping up the limited time rule thing. We are currently very busy also investigating and putting an architecture behind it. And I'm discussing it with my domain architects. And it's not only about ServiceNow architect, right? We have domain architect, we have enterprise architect. Why we contribute or communicate with them is because we are then respecting organizational security policies, organizations, architectural principles, and aligning them with ServiceNow. Not always true. I would say I always, sometimes you might go into fight, but again, it's for good reason. So please don't invent your own will. Try to sometimes follow your organization's policies.
Yeah, I think great perspectives, Ashutosh, and this is something I think we should go back and explore about security center and instance hardening. So I will come to some questions in the chat, Ashutosh. But as we say generally, like AI is not tomorrow; it's happening today, right? So when it comes to the platform security, what what role do you see AI can play, or any use cases have you seen? That is first question. And second is that if you want to share any panic security instance happened with you in your career, and how did you mitigated that? I think that would be valuable for audience.
AI for platform security? I have not seen anything yet there, to be honest. Mainly, if you look at if ServiceNow is doing a lot on their side, but we don't see it because again, it's in their infra. There are already AI things. Before Gen AI, we had predictive intelligence, uh, let's say proactive analysis in some cases. And ServiceNow AI Ops is really gaining a lot of attention, and people are using it behind the scenes. So they can already communicate, for example, if there is a breach, if if your mid server is down, for example, right? And that's also one of the security risk. If there is a vulnerable item on my mid server, and if I do not solve it, in those areas I see something happening, but not other than that. And then a weird scenario in my career with respect to security is, yeah, many. One of the thing was I was working with one of the customer and with my team, uh, and because we didn't do a proper segregation of roles, um, very important data was deleted out of the instance, and some users were deactivated, right, completely. And then we had to reach out to ServiceNow and tell them, hey, can you please activate our system admin account so we can reactivate all the other accounts? And that was because of a small error in a script, in a one of the fixed scripts where we were deactivating a specific set of users. But because we didn't use, for example, glide record secure, sometimes you really need to use it because if end user triggers the script, it's a issue. You should respect the APIs. And the other one was, for example, executing something on production without proper change record, for example, or without proper control or with a proper testing, which can hamper the performance of the platform. Um, and how I'm linking it with security is because when we are audited, and if something is audited by our auditors like KPMG, PwC, we have to give all the evidences of, okay, why this happened. Is it authorized change or unauthorized change? And those kind of things. So please make sure that you always link or test things beforehand, and then proceed to your production instance, because there are, even if you don't see people are not watching you, there are people watching you, right? And you have to be very careful with that kind of thing.
Yeah, thanks, Ashutosh, for sharing those experiences. One question, and I think this is a common for all as well, right? I sometimes struggle with shiny object syndrome in service now. For example, I will be deeply working on ITSM, but then there I should also jump into AI agents because somebody is learning and posting about it. Now, assist, UI Builder, Integration Hub, sandboxes, Juris features, right? So I think we all struggle with this some point of time, right? So any tips from you, Ashutosh, because you have seen the product evolving so fast and from a so longer time, right? So how do you personally decide what to prioritize, what to postpone, and how to do that, basically?
Um, when we were discussing in the beginning, I mentioned that it's really a huge platform. I think we can't cope up on each and everything. So be if you focus on one area, be good at it in the beginning. But again, like the example which you gave, ITSM and then AI agents are coming and so on. Given a chance, and if you have the resources, please learn about it, because it's very powerful, let's say, and there are things happening very rapidly in that market. But again, coming back to focus, I think it's very important. If you try to do 50% here, 50% there, and if you don't know everything about that respective module, uh, and again, you don't have to know everything about that module, right? But you should know the basics of the module. And if you don't know it, it's going to hamper your own state of mind, where you will be confused, like, okay, I was doing this, and now I suddenly jumped from ITSM to SecOps, for example, and both are completely different processes. So have a track of yourself. And I'm not saying don't learn it. It's always good to learn different modules, but have your own plan with you. Because when I was doing it, I had my own. Uh, I was very again fortunate to work on different modules in different projects, and in that way you will learn anyways. But if you're going to learn for your own self without any projects or something, I think you should start with one module, make your notes, start contributing towards community. And that is how I also learned IRM. I was not able to do any project, but then we started contributing, creating articles, creating videos. We did, I think, a lot in also Mavericks. So that is how we started gaining the knowledge. Um, and the final thing is certifications. I know it's not always mandatory to have it, but if you want to learn about that module, please go have a instructor-led certification, because that person who is giving you the knowledge knows a lot about that respective module. Try to ask as many questions as possible. Follow YouTube channels, people who are expert in those areas, so you will gain the knowledge pretty quickly.
Thanks, Ashutosh, for those suggestions. More than your technical knowledge, people are also curious about the guitar which is at your behind. So, do you play that, Ashutosh, or how's it?
I'm learning. It's there from last couple of years.
Okay.
More than me, my son is now playing it. He's in the
Okay.
bed, but yeah, I'm learning. I really uh, want to learn an instrument, and this is the one which I
Okay.
which I want to. Let's say
Okay.
I'm
So,
not that expert.
in the next meetup you come, we'll surely have
Uh,
a session from
One
you.
song,
Why not?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So, one question here, Ashutosh. So we are talking about the developers, we're talking about the architects, the platform team, right? So in ServiceNow industry, we many a times don't give that importance to QAs, to business analysts or the project managers, right? So Ashutosh, I know you lead many projects, you lead many teams. So what is your advice from them? Because somebody also asked, right, from a QS perspective, how do they focus on what things do they focus to align with the platform future discussions?
Testing is very vital, in my opinion, because that can help you speed up your upgrades. That's how I look at it. And I know we often ignore QAs, but when I became a platform owner, I realized that if you want to have, let's say, need for speed, right? If there is a speed to go to production, testing is very important. If you automate most of the things implement which are implemented as part of your platform, it's very important to have it. And QA is not only about in again, it might be so I would like to add the star in my answer that QA is not always like testing, right? They also need to learn things like instance scan, automated test framework, because um, developer can help them to create it, but the test scenarios, what they want us to test, they know it much more better than we do, right? And in my opinion, uh, there are so many other products which can help test ServiceNow apart from ATF. And hence, I don't think QAs are not important. They are there to make our life easy as well. Even if you are doing a custom application and it has to go to production, I think they can help us to uh, determine the methodology how we should test things. Um, another negative aspect of this is not everyone within the organization or not every organization has budget for this kind of things, and they think that because we are working agile, we are DevOps, the developers should also wear a hat of, and they should be responsible of doing testing themselves. And it's completely fine. And that is the reason I'm saying that QA should be T-shaped. They should be also open to contribute in a different way to the team. Because for me, when we do upgrade, I see the dashboard. Hey, what is green? What is red? What has failed? Okay, if this is failed, why are we not fixing it? Or what are the issues? And sometimes we are dependent on ServiceNow, and then it is a big issue for it delays upgrades, right? And then coming back to business analyst, um, it's a good substitute, not substitute, wrong word. It's, um, let's say, if the PO is not there in meetings, that's the right person to have in the meetings, because it's kind of a replacement for a platform owner or a product owner. Because right now there is a lot of burden on me to also create the planning, create the stories, understand what is happening here and there. But if you have business analyst, that person is asking right questions, drafting right material for you, aligning with the customers, aligning with stakeholders and the development team to do things. And then there is a growth path, right? You have people can decide if they really want to stick to this functional role, they can stick to it. And then people like me can go to architect or PO role, because then you decide the strategy. And then PO role and BA role go hand in hand because they are collaborating more. Also, Scrum Master, we have a rotating Scrum Master role sometimes within the team. Developer can be a Scrum Master as well. And that is, the world is changing very fast, Gagan. You have to be multi-skilled and I would not say lingual. It's something different for us here. But yeah.
Totally agreed, Ashutosh. Thanks for sharing those perspectives. In the interest of time, I will pick two more questions from the chat only. Uh, how do you decide the right mix between out of the box versus custom development? I think that is the hot topic in the last 1, 2 years when the client started realizing the technical debt that they are carrying, and now we are running projects specially to remove customization to get out of the box, right? So, what's your take on that, Ashutosh, as a platform architect?
Um, let's be honest. We can't have everything out of the box. There is a need to customize, and that is where ServiceNow is very good at. But the way you customize is very important. Don't have technical depths. Do responsible coding, and there is always a trade-off between customization and configuration. If you can achieve something with configuration, stay away from customizing things. Each industry is different. Each customer is different. Their processes are different. So I have not seen any customer using ITSM as it is from ServiceNow, or using HR, CRM, CSM as it is in my whole experience. There is some customization always in one of the process, right? The only thing is having proper governance to avoid the pitfalls or bottlenecks. And if you have those in place, I think you will be in control. So uh, I always have a discussion within my company that how spread the ownership should be of the customizations. So, and then we say, okay, it's your module, you're responsible for it. But if you're touching something in a global scope, you come to platform team, and then we will decide what to do on it. That avoids a loophole of having a lot of technical depths. But I have seen people going to vanilla instances or running the projects, but again, with some customization. They want to get rid of legacy processes.
Thanks.
For
Yeah.
example, myself, employee center, we are going back to out of the box employee center because we did a lot of customization on our employee center, and the performance is getting so weird. It's very slow, and we want to now make sure that we do not do things just for specific team. We have a standard and global guidelines, and we follow those.
Thanks, Ashutosh, for that. I think the last question I want to pick from chat is a summarization of everything, right? So one thing we have discussed that okay, we need to go broad, we need to go deep. If we want to excel in service now, you cannot stick to one thing for sure in today's time. So what should be the key focus areas for the next 1 or 2 years, Ashutosh, if somebody is really trying to excel in service now, and we take that as an intermediate to expert level person, right?
Yeah, I think there is not a right or wrong answer for this, but I will explain my perspective on it. So let's say if you are in the ecosystem from last 2 years, and if you want to grow towards a senior or a tech lead role, um, what I feel is ITSM is not only the module now, because I'm interviewing so many people and they are working mainly on ITOM and ITSM, right? Because that is where the core is, and it's not their fault, but many organizations are not using other modules maybe. But try to have bigger portfolio under you. When I say bigger portfolio, it means you don't need to own an account or something in terms of module. So you try learning more and more, and try to see if you can work on different projects within the organization, and be part of, like, do hackathons, attend these kind of sessions, talk with people like you, Gagan, and get guidance from them. So in next 2 years, if you can set a target that, okay, 6 months I want to learn this module, next 6 months I want to learn this module, after that you want to learn this module, and go to community, try to get bigger use cases and just explore it. Because when we take interview, I would tell you one thing: if you have theoretical knowledge, no one is going to hire you, and that's the downside of all the technologies. If you don't know something, because when you say, yeah, I know this, and then we start asking these questions, real time complex scenarios, and then people feel. So try to spread your wings slowly and steadily, and then you will see the growth automatically. I think within every organization has a span of each role, and I was impatient as well. I wanted to grow fast. And to do that, I started contributing. I started learning here and there. But that's my story, Gagan.
Yeah, thanks, Ashutosh. I know there are a lot of questions in the chat, but in the interest of time, we'll not be able to talk more. But feel free to reach us offline, me, Ashutosh, or anybody in this group or in the community who you feel can help you. Being the host, Ashutosh, I have one last question for you, which I want to take privilege, right?
Yeah.
Seeing your credentials, seeing your, listening to your knowledge, I totally feel that loads of hours have went into the fire in the last many years, right? How did you manage your personal life, your professional life, then your learning, then your community, then the guitar at your back end, the trophies we can see? So, what advice do you want to bring? Because this is something I think most of the people know what they want to do, and most of the people also know from where they have to do, right? But execution fails. So, what's your take on that, Ashutosh? What's your experience on that?
I think consistency is the key. You need to, and I'm not saying that you should contribute or write an article every day. I think that's also not the right approach. But in the initial 4 or 5 years, I was every day on community. I was just contributing to answering questions and so on. But then suddenly after that, I thought, okay, I should start writing blogs. I should start creating videos. And then, um, but the balance is um, maybe it was more about discipline and then also support from your partner. Uh, I don't do content every day. Maybe when I get time on Saturday, Sundays, and have your own principle that you need to contribute one in 1 month this much. And sometimes from after knowledge, I got so busy this year, I was not able to contribute anywhere. But I'm attending sessions, for example, like this here. I did developer meetups and those kind of things. So try to share your knowledge more and more because that also counts towards your credentials. That also helps you to learn more and present it to the audience like this. And finally, make your own calendar. Um, I know the way we operate is sometimes we work late in the nights. Our hours are different, but then try to find some gap where you can dedicate it to your learning, and then try to put it either a video, either make your own notes, and then contribute. And it's not always about contribution as well. If you want to learn it for yourself, keep it to yourself. No problem at all. Um, but yeah, Saturday, Sunday, I play a lot of cricket. So that's my time. And then I just play cricket, right? Um, Also here, by the way, in Netherlands. So that's not a not a bad thing. You should give body is also important. So you should also focus on it.
Yeah, I think the major takeaway I take from is that the support from the partner. I got married recently, so I know that it's not easy for me to sit on Sunday morning, but I somehow my discipline and my passion makes me do that, and let
Yeah,
the partner creep. No worries. All right.
yeah.
On a funny part, Ashutosh, what are the last golden words from you to the audience here? Okay, what should they go back and start introspecting that where they are and where they want to go? Closing remarks from your side, Ashutosh.
Um, I will be. I will try to say passion is one thing. So everyone has a passion in different activities, right? So focus on that. It's not only about service now. If someone is good at project management, business analyst role, they can groom themselves in that area. Um, be respectful to people around you and in the community because I have seen that sometimes it goes in a different way. Reach out to me if you need some help in terms of learning, and I can help. Either I can help myself or I can guide you in a different direction where other people can help you. And then um, try to attend the webinars to learn more about the products. Um, Follow people from community. We have some awesome MVPs. We have some awesome programs going on now from the advocates. And then, yeah, just keep exploring and contributing. Don't be afraid to contribute because, again, you guys make the community good, right? Because you are there, you're learning from that. Our job is to share, but please give feedback. If you don't like something, be open about it.
All right. Thanks a lot, Ashutosh, for your time and for all the participants for joining in. I really appreciate. I think 1 hour was not enough to interact with you, Ashutosh. Lot of questions has been parked, but I think we
Yeah.
will see you soon here in our some next meetup, and I will make sure I block 5 minutes of you for that guitar performance for sure. Okay, so that's the next learning objective I'm giving you till we meet next
Yeah.
time. All right. Thanks a lot, Ashutosh.
Yes.
See you soon. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. Bye,
And
everyone.
just before we drop off, maybe few announcements from the club side which can help you. All right. I hope my screen is visible. Okay, so Q&A session we had. So if you wish to join our Now Gurukul Club, feel free to scan this code, and I will help you add into the right channels. Uh, Let me reiterate the objective of this club is only to learn, to have a peer and disciplined learning. We have certain club leaders who run different initiatives throughout the entire week. You might have seen things out there, and this group will also help you stay connected for the latest communication that will be bringing on the table. So feel free to scan this barcode or use my contact number to ping me, and we'll make sure that we are connected out there for sure. All right. Thank you so much for joining in. If you want to stay back for a quick chit chat, we can talk. And the most important announcement I want to speak is that if you want to contribute as a speaker in our next meetups, coming up meetups, feel free to contact me or my team, or feel free to ping us on our social media channels, because this club is not only for the experts. Our vision is to provide more and more voice to the individuals like you. Even if you want to come and share with a quick problem that you had in your project and how did you tackle, I'm happy to host you in this club meeting. So the next meetup will be announced soon. The next initiatives will be announced soon if you stay connected with us. And I think by this time you have taken a screenshot of or joined the group already. Thanks a lot, ladies and gentlemen, for your time and effort. Sunday morning, I hope my team was able to bring some worth to your time. And I think the floor is open now. If we want to speak something, if we want to share anything, uh, let's talk now. Like you can unmute and we can talk uh, for the next 5-10 minutes for sure. Or if you have any feedback for this session or for this club initiative or for this club vision, please feel free to share, because that's how we will grow. That's how we will learn in the community. Any brave heads here want to speak something?
Hey, hi, Gagan.
Hey, Pooja.
It's Pooja. So, I'm not exactly from ServiceNow background, but I have like 8 years of experience. Meanwhile, my full stack development, I came across ServiceNow as a backend thing. So, calling APIs using scripted REST APIs to plug in the applications I've been creating in particular organization. Now I shifted towards ServiceNow recently. So I don't get a gist how this ITSM and other modules, like, for me, I feel it like as a platform, as you guys talk, right? Platform architect. I feel if we know that, that should be good enough. Should we have to have a knowledge about all the modules? Like, how does it work, Gagan?
Okay. See, I will share my perspective, and
Yeah,
everybody has their own perspective and their own journey. Okay. And once I complete, if somebody is there who want to add any value, please feel free to do that in a constructive manner. Okay. So, Pooja, what I recommend to everybody, be whatever role you are visioning to play in ServiceNow, be it admin, developer, tester, BA, architect, and XYZ. Okay, there is certain basic things you need to learn into ServiceNow before you get there. Okay, so for an example, first thing I do is that first thing you do welcome to ServiceNow course, right? Then you do admin course, right? After that, you do let's say a development course and a scripting course. So once you do this, you are trying to understand the basic of ServiceNow.
yeah,
How does the UI look like? What are the functionalities? What is the business rule and all that stuff, right? So that's a platform specific. And then you have different courses like CMDB, platform implementation, which gives you more knowledge about it. So once you do these 5, 6 courses, then you need to step into the modules. right? Modules are nothing but a process which is solving some business problems, right? So when I talk about ITSM, it constitutes of incidents, problem, change, right? So just like in your company, you raise an incident for any problem, right? So all that process, how you can design and implement in ServiceNow, right? So similarly, if I go to, let's say, a CSM module, customer service management, right?
Mhm.
So if you take an subscription of Airtel, right, and your internet is not working, you go to their portal and you raise a case out there with them. How
Yeah.
you can design the same kind of methodology in ServiceNow, right? So this is my perspective that
Okay.
in order to be a good developer, be a good architect, or be a good BA, and there are other experts who can also speak about it. First, you need to learn some base, right?
Yeah.
Once you learn that base, then you need to find, okay, what is your interest? As we said, the ITSM is the basic one. Everybody learns that in the ServiceNow ecosystem. It's a must-have thing. But after that, where do your interest lies? If your interest lies in security, you have modules like SecOps, vulnerability response, GRC. If your interest lies in, let's say, networking part, right? You have ITOM modules. So going forward, I think we will bring more guests which are experts in different modules and they can speak more about it, right? But that's my take. If you have any follow-up question, we can take. Pooja.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, learning CSA and CAD is like very important, else you won't be able to do anything in service now. The only concern of me is I worked on a custom apps a lot, so I know the platform as from a view of arc. I would say if I have to create anything, I know how to do it and how to do the scripting. But when it comes to modules, I get very confused. Like, how should I take it
So what we are
on
doing
that?
that as a part of this club, we are starting one initiative. We have started that, trying to optimize it, which is known as a daily learning challenge, or you can say a
Mm-hmm.
weekly learning challenge. I myself taking this responsibility to learn the ServiceNow from the scratch, okay, from the Welcome to ServiceNow course. And the initiative of that is if somebody is trying to learn from the day one, how they can become an intermediate level expert in the next 1 or 2 or 3 years, right? So keep following us. I will be starting this initiative from tomorrow onwards. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Freshers like you who are starting their service now journey, this is especially for those. And
Okay.
we can.
I won't say myself as a fresher,
I
but
will say
then like,
fresher.
yeah, yeah.
When I say fresher, is they're looking for a path in service now, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I couldn't tell you what I was trying to say. So I know how to build in service now, right? Scripting, notification, everything like the architect webhooks and anything which we have outside of the service now also to build a application, right? Whatever, be it a UI or a backend or tables, whatever it is. But when it comes to modules, I tend to get confused. Should I
Okay.
actually
So
learn it?
let's do
Yeah.
one-to-one call. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
I
sure,
will
sure, sure.
understand your aspirations,
Sure,
and
sure,
accordingly
sure.
I will recommend you. Okay, but you should pick
Yes,
first and the
thank you.
second one
Thank
for sure.
you.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks for asking that. I really appreciate your courage over there. Thanks. Anybody else in the team want to share anything? All right. I take that silence as a no. Thank you so much for joining in. We have our next meetup next week only, and there's a very special guest which will be announcing today itself. So stay tuned. See you next Sunday. Try to share this with more and more people so that they join us and we make this more interactive and a great session going forward. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great Sunday. Keep learning. See you next Sunday, same time. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.